Okay, let's try this again. The internet is just having issues here. So I deleted the other video, so don't go looking for it. Okay. I'm glad it at least happened on the front side. I think I can catch up here and restate everything that I was saying. So, speed through this. I'm going to talk a little bit about sexuality and consciousness, and we're focusing in on the masculine and feminine energy today, and really what that means, because as we open up to our sexuality and tapping into our masculine and feminine energy, it also allows us to be more conscious creators and really tap into our divine nature of creation instead of blocking everything. So on the front side of this, I'm going to be talking about both masculine and feminine. It may feel like I'm kind of picking on women or on men to a degree, but I'm not, okay? When I refer to masculine and feminine, I am referring to masculine energy that we both carry, that both sexes carry, and I'm referring to the feminine energy that both sexes carry. I am, for the purpose of simplicity, going to just speak in terms of a traditional sexual relationship of man and woman coming together. So I'm just stating that because I know some people get offended when I talk like that, but I'm not going to go through every relationship aspect here, okay? So when we talk about masculine energy and masculine energy in sex, what we have going on is the masculine in sex especially is all about direction, drive, attention. So presence is what the masculine is, where the feminine is about openness, surrender, and being radiant, okay? So that is that beautiful glow that women can get. You know, you can always tell if a woman's had some good sex or not because she'll be all glowy and giddy, and when she's around a strong masculine, so a man that is on purpose and very present, it should pull out her feminine more. So she should almost feel like she's floaty and almost childish in a different way. So that's a very strong feminine energy. It's just that playful energy. Women will find themselves laughing a lot more when they're around a strong masculine, smiling a lot more without reason. Though I call it like pulling out your inner blonde, even if you're not blonde. That ditzy blonde tends to come out when you're in your feminine, and it's just it's a playfulness. That's a strong feminine energy that can come out. Some women have it very naturally and they just embrace that, and that's just who they are. But other women, and a lot of women in today's world, are more in their masculine energy. So they're more driven, focused, very present, go-getters out there. And that is that energy, like the man, like the masculine, that is that driving, you know, leadership mentality. And it doesn't mean that the feminine can't be a leader. It just means that the masculine is more programmed for that energy than what the feminine is. The feminine is that creation. It is flow, fluid like the ocean, and the masculine is more driven. Think of you know, a straight road that just takes you from one place to the other. And yeah, sometimes it might, you know, detour a little bit, but it always gets too close to the destination or to the destination. A javelin is another term that you can use for the masculine energy. So you throw a javelin and it goes in one direction. It hits its goal, or it falls a little bit short, or it goes a little bit past, but it's going in that one direction. It's not going to be all over the place. So that's masculine is more linear thinking, and feminine is more of that fluid, open thinking. So what we have in today's world is we have a lot of women operating in their masculine energy, and we have a lot of men operating more in a feminine energy. This is fine and dandy occasionally when the two sexes come together, and it can work, but over a long period of time, unless the woman is very much in her masculine and the man is very much in his feminine, then those polarities are going to start to have issues. If you have a man that is strong in the masculine and a woman that moves into her masculine, that's where you end up more with like dog eat dog in the house. It's that alpha dog stuff going on where there's a lot of fighting, a lot of bickering, a lot of each other trying to control the situation, and it just gets really nasty really quickly. There's also not a lot of sexual charge because it's two masculine energies coming together, so there's not a lot of sexual charge going on there. When we open into, the same would be true if you had like a very feminine woman and the man steps in more into his feminine, and it just gets more fluid and is, not as centered, not as on purpose, is just more in that creative nature. It's going to be hard for those two to have a good sexual charge or connection together because you now have two feminines coming together. So what happens, the masculine is that presence and the feminine is the radiance, and the two attract each other, and that's how we kind of come together. So a strong masculine is going to attract a strong feminine. A strong feminine will attract a strong masculine. Okay? And that's the ideal situation. Now, as we look at this in today's world scenarios, here I go. I'm going to pick on us girls first. In order for a sex to be really deep and for us to be able to get into this state of using our sex even for creation purposes outside of making babies, that we're talking about conscious creation purposes, the feminine has to experience her deepest sexual heart, you could say, sexual bliss, ecstasy, and openness. She can only do this though by trusting her partner's masculine more than she trusts her own masculine. Okay, ladies, did you catch that? You have to trust your man's masculine, your partner's masculine, more than you trust your own masculine. This means surrender. Okay, and that is a big, scary word for a lot of us out there, men and women alike, but especially for us women, because we're not surrendering in our lovemaking. We are remaining in our heads, is what I'm saying here. Remaining in our heads, and we're not opening up in our bodies. So basically, we're detached from our sex in so many different ways, and often we're detached from our hearts as well. So the feminine will go into the heart space, and that's going to open up her sexual space. But a lot of women today are like, I can't have an orgasm, or my orgasms are just, they're not that great. They're just kind of, I know I'm just scratching the surface. I've never experienced anything more. I can only have an orgasm when I use a vibrator. The majority of the time we're talking about climax, not orgasm, because climax you can achieve in a masculine energy. That is the high point, and it drops you down, and normally it's clitoral stimulation, all that stuff. That's all climax right there. It's a very masculine orgasm. Feminine orgasm is internal, deep, vaginal orgasm, G-spot, cervix orgasm based, more energetic. It can bring you into a beautiful state of emotion where you're just a shaky, incredible, radiant mess of orgasm and bliss, and you're experiencing this all over your body, and it's like your heart is being broken open. That state right there is that true surrender, and that means that you've totally gotten out of your head. You're completely heart and sex focused, and you're open in the feminine, and you are trusting your masculine more than you trust your own masculine. Okay, that space right there is where you can tap into your power of creation. It's that space where you can tap in and truly create a life that you like. It's like in this moment you can send out an intention to create something and really pull down your blessings from heaven, you could say, in that moment. So here's your little sex magic moment, is that is what it requires for the feminine to be able to tap in and really create that sex magic, that pull down that blessing in that state, which is an intensified energy of creation, because sex is creation energy. Okay, at its base level form, sex is all about creation. I mean, that's what we use for to create life in general. I mean, how can it not be creation energy, right? We make babies from this. Our whole world exists because of sex. So it is the strongest, most potent creative energy out there, and we can tap in and we can use that to create abundance and blessing in other areas of our life, not just in making babies. In order for a woman to be able to open up to this feminine that I just touched in on, now, granted, I've got, this is like if you were coaching with me one-on-one, or if you came to different workshops or retreats and stuff that I do, then you would get to go a hell of a lot deeper in this. I'm trying to just give you guys a little taster, something to think about here. But when you look at the masculine aspect of this, what we have in a world today is a lot of men that get caught up and focused on a lot of different things, but they're not putting their presence on their woman, okay? They basically barely even give her the time of day, sexually speaking. We live in this microwave society where everything is like this, and it is the quick getcha comment of, we live in a hookup society. A hookup society is never going to be able to tap into this depth of sex, connection, love, or orgasm, or even abundance making that I'm talking about here. When you're in that hookup mode, you're never going to be able to really get into creation work, okay? So if you're wanting something, if you're wanting to learn, like we talk about Tantra, we talk about sex magic, we talk about, if you look at the Song of Solomon's in the Bible, as one of the most tantric books ever written is the Song of Solomon's, because everything about their lovemaking, about King Solomon and his wife, and the whole story in there is all about this depth of intimacy and sex, openness and penetration with presence that he gives her, and she opens to it and blossoms, okay? And that story right there, that's the way our sex was, I believe, designed to be. It's that kind of connection. There's such beauty, such depth, I have tales out there that on my blog about being penetrated, heart, body, mind, and soul. That's that depth that, like in Solomon's songs, that you can go to. It is available to each and every one of us, but it requires the feminine to open up into her feminine energy and to be that fluid, beautiful body like the ocean, and just experience and open and to be penetrated at that level, to trust her man's masculine at even a deeper level than she trusts her own. But it requires a man to stand in his masculine with certainty, with courage, and with potency. And that means that he really has to be present, and he has to be present in his lovemaking. So it's not about the pump ooh goo here. It is about the entire event. How can you as a man open your woman deeper and deeper and deeper? That means your presence is required. You must be present with her. You must go the extra mile. When you think that she's experienced orgasm, think again. She probably has just experienced climax, or she's just scratching on the surface of orgasm. And again, hookup society, hookup culture has us all believing, has us all settling for a crumb of the pie and not even knowing that there is a pie out there, okay? I'm saying that in order for you to really truly experience sexual openness and a lot of things that I teach on, and the things that you might read about or experience, or you have this sense that it's there, but you've never fully experienced it. It is there. It is the yummiest freaking pie on the planet. There's nothing better than it. Once you taste it, you're going to want more of it, type deal. And you're going to know that you can't ever settle for less after that. But that's a good thing, because you're designed for greatness. You're designed for everything that is accessible through your lovemaking and that potency of the lovemaking. But men have to, that masculine has to have direction, has to be present, 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 and be willing to stand or move into that space with the woman. So it's really about moving further in, going deeper, and really, really enjoying that moment. So enjoy your partner's body, enjoy the landscape that she's offering to you, and see how deep you can actually experience her. And I'm not talking about physical depth, I'm talking about emotional depth, mental depth, and spiritual depth here. Going to that level, really truly experiencing your partner. And ladies, that means opening up so that you can experience your landscape, right? Let it experience and drop out of the mind and really truly be present in your body and feel into every aspect of yourself. Allow your heart to open, allow your genitals to open, and just experience that. Daryl says, never done a hookup. Gotta be deeper. Yes. The question is, maybe you've never done a hookup, but has the woman or women ever, maybe they felt differently? It's very interesting because, you know, a lot of times sometimes we feel that we are being as deep as we possibly can, even in our relationships, and we start to walk into a relationship, into this intimate moment with depth and with connection, and then something switches in the middle of it, and one person or the other shuts it down. And you have to be really, really careful of that right there, that shutdown that can happen. So okay, my munchkins are crying for me. I got kids to run to school. So as always, I'm going to ask if there was anything on this conscious coffee that you found touching, helpful, interesting. Hit the little share button down at the bottom. And share. Facebook loves people sharing things. It says that it's valuable. And if there's any comments or questions that come up, feel free to leave them here underneath this video, or pop me a private message too. Go to my website, kendalwilliams.com. Check out the articles on there, the courses that I have and everything like that. If you're local, well, I have this here. If you're local and you catch this today, Addison Bell and I are teaching a Tantra 201 class tomorrow in Plano, Texas, and we're going to be teaching some of these principles, but on a PG-13 scale. So there's no sex, no nudity in that, but we are going to be teaching the basics of Tantra to get that foundation so that you can actually go deeper with self, to go deeper in all relationships, because Tantra is not just about sex, it is about weaving all of life together, and sex is just a beautiful piece of that pie, but it's not the whole pie. Okay, guys, I love you, and I will catch you Monday morning because it is Friday. So I will see you guys Monday around 6 a.m. ish. Bye.